Hi everyone, I'm here to guide you through this first concept in generative artificial intelligence, multimodality. If you're interested in AI, this video is for you. At the end you can test what you've learned with a self-assessment that I created to help make this video more interactive and valuable to you. So stay until the end. Let's talk about the definition first. When we say multimodality in AI, we mean the ability to an artificial intelligence system for processing, understanding, and generating multiple types of information or modalities. These modalities include text, images, audio, video, code, PDF. In other words, a multimodal AI can handle different forms of communication just as a human would. In generative artificial intelligence, it is called large multimodal model. Now let's look at Google DeepMind's multimodal model called Gemini. This model was built from scratch to multimodal reasoning using text, images, video, and code. Gemini. It is a family of models which are Ultra, Pro, Flash, Nano. In this video we will not go into depth about the capabilities of each one because on the channel our team is doing the appropriate research on the paper, unlocking multimodal understanding across millions of tokens of context, and for which a full video will be dedicated to this research. But let's look at a general definition. We have Ultra, the older brother, powerful and capable of tackling complex tasks. Pro, the versatile one that adapts to many situations. Flash, the fast and efficient one for tasks that need quick answers. And Nano, the small but mighty one, perfect for mobile devices. To get a model to work on a smartphone, a technique called model distillation is used. Imagine a very knowledgeable teacher teaching a student. The student learns the teacher's most important skills, but with less effort. So Nano learns from the larger Gemini models to work on devices with fewer resources. Now that we have the general idea of the different versions of Gemini and the concept of multimodality, let's see how we can apply it to develop these examples. Let's go to Google AI Studio. Google AI Studio is a cloud-based platform that allows users of all skill levels to create, train, and deploy AI models. With an intuitive interface and drag-and-drop features, AI Studio makes AI accessible even to those without programming experience. The interesting thing is that the requests made in Google AI Studio are free with certain limitations. To enter Google AI Studio, you only need to register with your email, well, for free. Offers us to use the Gemini and Gemini models in its Flash version. The limitations are the number of requests that we can make per minute and per day. If we use the 1.5 Flash model, the limits are 15 requests per minute and 1 million tokens per minute, and the limit in the day is 1,500 requests. All this for free so that we can carry out our tests. I think this is pretty cool. What do you think? To recap, multimodality gives Gemini the ability to process multiple modalities of information at the same time. This means that we can feed it a video of a certain length and ask questions about the content of this video. Sounds great, right? So let's pick a YouTube video and run the test. I'm going to pick a video from our channel called Discover the Answer to ChatGPT. An unprecedented interview lasting 13 minutes and 40 seconds on Google AI Studio. I'm going to go to the section where it says Create New Prompt on the right-hand side. It says Model. I choose the model Gemini 1.5 Pro. The specifications of this model are Gemini IC Pro is a mid-sized multimodal model, optimized for a wide range of reasoning tasks. 1.5 Pro can process large amounts of data at once, including 2 hours of video, 19 hours of audio, code bases with 60,000 lines of code or 2,000 pages of text. The input token limits are 2,097,152, and the output token limits are 8,192. You can find this information in Google AI Studio in the section that says Developer Documentation. Well, within the model configuration parameters that we can manipulate are the temperature, and this controls the degree of randomization of the token. Lower temperatures are good for instructions that require a more deterministic or less open response, while lower temperatures are good for instructions that require a more open response. Higher values may lead to more diverse or creative results. In short, it means the creativity of the responses. The other parameters such as top K and top P are not available to modify. In this Gemini model, if you want to investigate further, you can search for generative model parameters within the developer documentation. Anyway, I will leave in the video description all the sources I use for the making of this video. Okay, now let's enter the video that I had previously downloaded in my documents and notice how in the token count section, the platform informs us that this video contains 241,606 input tokens. This is useful to keep a metric within our data analysis. At this point, I want to talk to you about system prompt. The system prompt is an initial instruction that is provided to a language model to establish the context of the conversation and define how it should behave or what information it should take into account during the interaction. It is a kind of guide that dictates the tone, the personality, approach, or role that the model should adopt. In practical applications such as chatbots or virtual assistants, the system prompt is used to fine-tune the user experience, ensuring that the model responds according to the expectations of whoever programs it. Well, the system prompt that I'm going to feed you is the following. You are an advanced multimodal model that analyzes videos and provides detailed information about both visual and auditory content. The user will provide you with videos as interviews and ask you questions based on them. Your task is to interpret both spoken dialogue and key visual elements, expressions, gestures, visible texts, graphics, etc. to answer questions accurately and in detail. In this case, the user will provide you with an interview between himself and ChatGPT. You will have to answer questions related to the topics discussed in the interview, clarify concepts mentioned, or describe the visual elements that appear so that the user can get a complete understanding of the video. You can give this interaction a name so that you can easily search for it later in the My Library section. Okay, now I'm going to enter some text to give the task to the model. I'm going to start with a progressive approach to see how the model responds to different levels of complexity. The first thing I'm going to enter is the following. Based on the video, answer the following. What is the first question that the interviewer asks ChatGPT? Well, the answer was generated in 29.1 seconds and the answer was correct. Indeed, that is the first question that the interviewer asks ChatGPT. Now let's run a slightly more complex test. The goal is to check if the model can capture facial expression or gestures at key moments in the video. I'm going to ask it the following. Describe the interviewer's visual reaction, gestures, or facial expressions when ChatGPT explains what the most challenging aspect of being a language model is. The model's response was as follows. Sure, I can do that. At minute 12.07, when ChatGPT is explaining the most challenging aspect of being a language model, The interviewer nods his head slightly in understanding. His expression remains neutral and attentive, showing no surprise or particularly strong emotions. He maintains eye contact with the camera, seeming focused on listening to ChatGPT's response. Let's watch the video snippet to evaluate the response. What is the most challenging aspect of being a language model like you? One of the most challenging aspects of being a language model like myself is understanding and generating coherent responses in complex and subtle contexts. Subtleties of language like sarcasm or emotions can be difficult to pick up on. Also, it's challenging to handle a wide range of topics and ensure that responses are accurate and useful while maintaining data privacy and security. The answer seems to me to be in line with the interviewer's mannerisms. Okay, now let's evaluate the model's ability to detect and describe visual elements that accompany technical explanations. For this, I'm going to ask you the following question. Is there any visual presentation or graphic that accompanies the GPT chat explanation about what recommendations you have for people who want to get the most out of their interaction with you? So describe it. Let's evaluate the answer. The model says the following. Yes, there are different images or graphics that accompany the GPT chat explanation about recommendations to make the most of your interaction with him. The images that accompany each recommendation are recommendation 1. Be clear and specific. You see a graphic with wooden cubes that form the word clarity. There is a small plant on the first cube. To make the most of your interaction with me, I recommend the following. Be clear and specific. The more detailed your question is, the better I can help you. The answer is correct. The goal of the video was to have a general understanding of multimodality and see its potential. To do this, we saw the example with inserting a video and text as input to the model. I did it this way because in this way we evaluate multimodality in the analysis of video, image, audio, and text. Now how about we do a self-assessment so you can practice your knowledge retention, since the idea is that by watching this content that we created with great dedication is that it provides value to you at the time you invest in watching our content. I recommend that, after reading the question and seeing the options, you pause the video and reflect on the possible answer. This will help you improve the retention of information in your short-term memory. Now, if you want to improve your long-term memory, I suggest using the space learning technique. This technique consists of reviewing the questions or the material after a certain time, such as 24 hours later. In this way, you will be reinforcing the neural connections and improving the retention of knowledge over time. Okay, let's get started. 1. What does multimodality mean in AI? Two, what is the name of the Google DeepMind multimodal model that was mentioned in the video? What are the versions of the Gemini models mentioned in the video? What technique is used to enable the nano model to run on mobile devices? Five, what platform is used to build, train, and test AI models like Gemini? What are the major free limitations when using the Gemini Flash model in Google AI Studio? 7. What does the temperature parameter control in generative models like Gemini 1.5 Pro? What kind of response did the Gemini model provide when asked about the interviewer's visual reaction? What visual graph is presented when ChatGPT gives the recommendation to be clear and specific in interactions with him? If this video provided value to you and you want to support the creation of this content, you can subscribe, share or comment so that our channel can continue to grow.